All right, let's see. Okay, rare invoker skill using codexes. Oh yeah, let me actually share the stream. Grab this real quick. All right, and we're gonna copperoo. Welcome in if you're coming in for the first time. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm just trying to try to share the stream. Give me a second. Let's see. I go to my Discord and share it here. Do that, and let me grab the Twitch real quick. Boom. All right, cool. All right. Let me see. Yo, what's good, Cat? How you doing, bro? Sorry, I wasn't ignoring chat, by the way. Just not looking at it. What's good, Cat? How you doing, bro? It's no. Is it No Tac Peaks? No. Wait, I want to make sure I'm saying your name right. Is it No Tap Peck or Pex? Yeah, No Tap Nota Pex. How you doing, fam? Appreciate you for stopping by. Let's see. I'm gonna share this here. All right, bang. And then I'll share that in the official Discord. Yo, what's up, Tenrax? How you doing, bro? Oh, I actually said it right? Oh. Oh, I said it the first time. Okay, got you. Okay. That was funny. Oh, man. You know what the funnest part of Invokers is starting a fresh account. That's the funnest part. Streaming. Okay. Is it Aldmarin? Murian? How you doing, fam? How do you say your name? If you're coming in for the first time, do excuse me. I'm like the worst with name pronunciations. So if I say your name wrong, please tell me how to say it correctly. All right. So all right, let's see. Yeah, so I figured what I was gonna be doing, probably not every day because I don't stream every single day, but a good chunk of this progression push, I'm gonna try to stream a good amount of it. I'll probably obviously have to do some stuff off cam, and really answering any questions you guys have because there's a lot of people coming in new. There's obviously a ton of you guys have been here for a while, so it's an opportunity. If you know the answer to something, I'm not the only one that can help. It's a really, really great community. Everybody is pretty helpful. So if you are coming in new, don't feel like there's like a dumb question because this game is kind of complicated low key, but it's fun nonetheless. You said I want to hear you saying my real name. What, Katsura or Jasim? Is that how you say your name? Your real name? Is it Jasim? You out here giving up the wrong? Is it Jasim? How do you say it? Or Yasim? How do you say it? I don't know in Arabic what a J is. Oh, okay. See, but listen, I can get there. I can get there, bro. Like if I knew the root origin of it, I would be able to say it right. You say you'll send me a voice message later? All right, cool. Said Aldemir part is from the Elder. Oh, okay. So from Elder Scrolls. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So it's Aldmarin. Okay. Yo, what's up? Is it Sly Rabbit? I think it's Sly Rabbit. Sly Rabbit Tricks. Oh, okay. That's is that a serial reference? You saw how's this game? For me, it personally is fun, but I think fun is also subjective. So it's kind of like, you know, I like, for example, when I first started, this is like now, like 7-8 months ago. I did this exact process, which for some people, they just don't like the starter process, like, you know, using rares, uncommons, and stuff like that. And then I got lucky with some of my, I actually, my first legendary pools were actually garbage. I'm gonna be honest. In this game, yeah, my legendary pools were pretty bad at first, and I just kind of stuck it out. I like played the game on and off and just stayed consistent. And I just kind of was biding my time, waiting and seeing what was up with the game, and I just kept playing. I wasn't going as crazy though, because they were in a closed beta, so I kind of knew like a lot of things were going to change. And since I've even been playing, a lot of things have changed. Like even the new player experience is like pretty different, because and we didn't even have events when I started, so now there's these events, and you're now doing that, like it's like a new player leaderboard. So that's kind of another reason why I'm doing this too, because there's more stuff for you to actually do. You said how important is the mind worm debuff for Sakayo? Would you say is single-handedly enough reason to use a low rarity unit? So those tolerances don't really become too much of a, they become more of a problem the higher up you go, right? It's like a lot of effects, like even accuracy, like it's super easy to get like hit like accuracy thresholds on the earlier stages, but then the higher up you go, you're gonna need to run characters at like 300-400 accuracy, right? Like it's definitely depends on where you're at. Some characters you can get away with them not having it, and then there's like certain ones like that you want to have them have it, because like for example, if I think about trying to think about what dungeon it is. Like, okay, like take for example, like Authar. Authar, you have to deal with these two tolerances. One is crush and the other one is fatigue. You don't want your main damage dealer or your main support getting fatigued or crushed, because then your whole team just falls apart. So that's kind of like, not everybody technically has to have the tolerance for that respective dungeon. It does help though that certain characters have it so that your team doesn't fall apart. One other important thing that I wish I would have known when I first started is that tolerances only work, like the gear sets, those gear sets only work on characters that already innately have the tolerance. So you can't just give a character randomly a tolerance. It actually wouldn't even have made sense anyway, because they don't have a base to put that multiplier on. So I like remember I did a ton of builds on units thinking like that tolerance sets were just working on them, and they weren't even doing anything. So the unit has to already have that tolerance. What that tolerance set does though is it alleviates you having to skill up their tolerance, right? So that's kind of one of those things. Yo, what's good, Missile? How you doing, bro? You said I saved my dailies in another game so I could show you a free-to-play friendly game that only monetizes skins later. Oh, word. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there too. So, that's cool. What game is it? You said, I'm thinking of Ronan. He has Mind Werf in Ultimate. Said defense break in S2. Jinx and S3. What's the oh, Moko. Okay, yeah. I remember, I think I tried it. I think I tried that game. I'm gonna be honest. But Alderman, what is the rest of your team you're running? What else are you running with that? You sat here after slandering Cora all day, bro. You gotta, you gotta play, Lonzo. I don't know what you like. You gotta play, bro. You over there playing HSR. You got to come over to Invokers. What do we have to do to convert you? You said last year was totally different than this season. Yeah, so I was playing when it first came out. I'm pretty sure I played it when it first came out because I feel like somebody in my community, actually on this channel, I think mentioned it when it was coming out. But I didn't realize that they did season-based content though. Yeah, your current Sakayel team. Yeah. And what stage are you on? Because that's another thing. I don't even know what difficulty you're on. So, because like I said, like I cared a lot less about like tolerances up until I got like a little bit to the higher stages. Like then I was like, oh man, okay, this is kind of a thing, because like some of the tolerances will keep you in like a stun state for so long that you either aren't doing damage or you're taking too much damage. And that, depending on the boss, can, you know, kind of cooks you. Sakayel is a little annoying, not in the first phase. The first phase is like super easy. It's that second phase that kind of gets annoying. Oh, so they made it to where there's no more equipment? What the heck? It said they ditched the level-based damage on base damage and health system. Oh, so they basically overhauled their system. Okay, that makes sense then. See, I hate when that happens though, because I wish that games would advertise that type of stuff. Like you hear nothing about that. That's like my issue with like most games like today. Like they'll make like some really big overhauls and you won't even hear about them. And it's actually things that probably would bring players back. That's the thing. So yeah, I don't know. So Invokers having no PC client, Super Grindy isn't. Well, they're about to drop their PC client, brother. At some point, like you got to keep in mind, like Invokers they just are coming out of a closed beta into an open beta. They didn't even have a pause, which is kind of surprising because some games usually will. I mean, granted, they've been doing the early access closed beta, but that's like almost unheard of. Most games don't do a lot of early access closed betas. So yeah, that's just like insane. But yeah, that's like all stuff that you expect to have by your global launch, not really so much by your early access. Most games don't typically have that ready until global launch. So I just think it's like with these types of games, it's just missed opportunity when it comes down to grind time. Because a lot of people, like there were some people that just came back and they were just like, I was playing and I stopped. And like for example, I just never stopped. It's not like anything extravagant happened on my account. I just never stopped. And then I started saving. That's always my emphasis to anyone that's playing. I'm like, dude, take closed betas, early accesses, save. Like if they're non-white, just save. Because if you go into that official release and then you already have yourself kind of stockpiled a little bit, whatever they drop for, because best believe something's gonna come for that global launch, you'll be prepared for it. And then you'll be able to actually kind of propel your account more. But to each its own with, you know, with what you want to do with your time, right? Like I think that's always the most important thing. It does not offend me in any way if you're like, hey man, I'd rather be doing something else with my time. That's what it should be about. You using your time for what you enjoy, you know? You said I want to play more, but Marvel Token's taking my soul. I mean, to be fair, it's a good game, right? It's a really good game. I'm definitely gonna have to put some hours myself into that. So the grinder's frying my phone in this heat. But that's the other thing too, Lonzo. I'm gonna have to once I make it big, I'm gonna have to like bless you or something, get you a new phone or something, dog. Cause I seen what your phone looks like. Like you're it's not really just Invokers. It's any game almost for you at this point. So I'll have to hook you up, brother, at some point. Like, and yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. Like I do get it. Yo, what's good, Waffles? How you doing, bro? You said you grinding out content lately. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like them opening up the game to more regions. I'm like, I know you're seeing it a lot more. The in-game chat is a lot more active. It's definitely a lot more newer players. and the Discord has a ton of newer players as well. It's like, can you still get the fusion done starting this late? No, missed too many events. Not I think the only way, and I have to double check that number really. I think the only way would have been if you somehow place #1 in local on every event that's still left. I think you would have to place like #1 in every event that's left, like low key. Yeah. Other than that, I think it might be a little too late because we had like the timer started 3 weeks for the entire event. So we've been grinding events for a little bit. Like a lot of people are like either just getting to the tail end, or they have a pretty good amount of crowns already. And so my advice, and even what I'm going to do with this account, I'm actually going to be stockpiling for the next thing that I really care about that's going to help my account. With the chases, it is going to be one of those things where you're going to have to pick and choose which ones you do, especially if you're free to play. Like, for example, there was a big portion of the chase that I was just going to skip altogether at this point, just because it makes no sense. I'm pushing those chases free to play, even on my main account. And if you're looking at, like, say, for example, right now we have the Titan Surge, and we have a Titan Surge for summoning and the Titan investment, like, power up or whatever. If you have, like, say like no summons, there's no point in you really even trying to do it. And if you don't have Titan EXP, there's no point in you doing the Titan investment part either. So I think like you kind of have to look at the event. Like before going into that event, I made the conscious decision where I was like, okay, I can realistically do this. If I felt like I couldn't have done it, I would have just saved for the next thing. I think the other thing is too, and it's kind of funny, believe it or not, we've had some people actually pull the chase unit in the gacha. So they didn't even have to actually, and these were free to play, mind you. These like some people's like first legendary in their account was Tyrannus, which I just thought was kind of funny. So they didn't even have to do the chase, which I was like, that's kind of lucky. But yeah, that is a thing that kind of does happen. So I've gotten way farther since you looked at my account, dude. I was just talking to Ultra Goblin about that. I was like, dude, I know Waffle's account is going crazy right now, but like that, I had told him, helping you on your account had helped me a lot with my account, because you like he even said that you to date as a fact are the player that has played the longest in the game. Period. Like there's nobody that's played as long as you. That's been concurrent on the game. So I was just kind of able to see, like, I was like, oh, okay, like that kind of makes sense. I get this synergy. That makes sense. Like, so it helped me kind of expedite my learning process a lot. So, you know, just as much as you felt you were being helped by me, you were helping me out actually as well. And it actually like saved me time because like, you know, realizing like, okay, Red Riot is viable. I started actually playtesting her in a lot of stuff, and she was helping me actually solo different things in campaign. I actually I actually 6-starred her too. I was like, yeah, she's a pretty good character. Yeah, man. No, seriously, yeah, you definitely did help me a lot. Like I was like, okay, that's very, very insightful. Because that's the thing too, is like the, you know, like the jump between like say going from difficulty. Like I just had that happen with this. Oh, I didn't even get that chest. I just had that happen with this rotation where this event basically changed my author. So I was stuck at I think like 13 or 12 or something like that. And so then going through this actually now has me jumping ahead to where now I can go up and start doing 16 as soon as I build the units up. So yeah, there's a lot of like power in just being patient, really, I would say. And then of course if you got purchase power, I mean there's that too. So the dudes are just like, I'll get like 50 summons today. I was like, oh man, I wish. You said what unit should I be looking for? Well, okay, Tyrese, okay, this is what we have to determine first. Are you going to be free to play or are you going to spend? If you're going to be free to play, the scope of your scope of choice is a little limited until you get to fusions. Like you actually almost have zero control over who you get until you get the fusions, right? Um, Now I can obviously tell you what units are good and what would be impactful to your account. The problem is are you going to like you could get them next year? No, I'm playing, but you could get them a while from now. Like, so it's like there's a ton of great units in this game. To be fair, right? But as a free to play, and that's also what I'm going to show in the series, you have to make decisions to invest into things so you can progress. And then it's like I use this term a lot, is double dipping. So like if I build something, I always have a plan with it. So there's two things that you usually typically can determine with whatever you invest. You're either going to invest in them and maybe they're good enough to take further to say like 6-star, or you're investing in them so that at some point they can be used as food to invest into your stronger unit. So like, for example, the main focal point right now is tower. So you can start tower. Like you can push tower with commons when you first start the game. Like these first floors are like super easy. And as you're progressing and pulling, you're going to get more things to fill out your account. There's not going to be like a specific thing that you need. You need to have attribute teams, because this is one of the first major sources of income for your account. So it's not just gems. Like I think like some people, they are like, oh, it's just the rewards, but I don't, I'm not going to be at floor 90. It's not so much just about that, right? The thing about doing Spire is that every time you do a Spire floor, as you are killing enemies, you're not just getting the reward for clearing the floor itself, you're also getting reward drops per enemy that you kill. So this game has shards that you accumulate for your summons over time. They give you outright summons as well. But then when you're doing, like, literally everything in the game gives you shards for summons in some capacity. Spire is one of the few places, though, that gives you legendary shards, like the opportunity to have the shards that have access to legendaries and light and dark. So if you look here, you'll see that there's this percentage chance that they drop. That's per enemy that you kill. There's a chance that a shard can drop, right? That adds up as you're clearing tower, and the tower, as you're going up, there's multiple waves on a floor. So like you start out with 3 waves. By the time you get up to, I think it's like 70 or 80, you start going into like 4-wave fights. So the mob density gets higher, the waves increase, so there's more potential drops. This also is a matter for farming in this game too. Like there are certain stages that are more efficient to farm for runes and stuff like that. So like take for example, like, okay, I'm fleshing out all my teams right now. Light and dark is going to typically be the harder technically of the group to do, just because it's just whatever you get, you just got to kind of work with. But RGB, you're 1,000% going to get rares to fill those teams out. But like if we look at like my light team, I got 1 light unit right now, right? There's nothing I can do about that until I pull more light units, and that's going to be a mix of probably more than likely uncommons, and then if I get lucky enough to get a rare LD, then there's that, right? And that can vary between light and dark, so I don't really know which one I'm gonna get. But there are substitutes. Like there's a character named Chadis, I think his name is. A lot of people are using him to climb tower, and he's an uncommon, and I think he's actually a support if I'm not mistaken. But point in case is that, like, there was like some guy last night, he was like kind of upset like about viability, but I was like, when I looked at his account, he hadn't been playing that long, and I'm like, dude, literally tower, you make the most out of uncommons and rares and stuff like that for a vast majority of your beginner progression. Most things you can take the 5 stars because you kind of have to get to what I guess like the kind of standard point you want to reach is like floor 50 on the tower floors. That's like the sweet spot that you want to try to achieve. And so, yeah, you said there's a lot of underused blues that most people don't know of. Starter picture has changed a lot since I played to start too. Yeah, no, very true. Like that's the other thing too, is like even now, like we have this, which I was like news to me. But it is kind of a big deal now. Now I see it. It's this welcome tournament. This welcome tournament is kind of a big deal because you have the opportunity if you place number one in this. This is if I'm not mistaken, I think Plumia is one of the newer characters they added into the game, and she has extension of buffs, immunity coverage, healing, attack up buff, and then she can shorten the durations of of a random debuff, and then as this goes up, it just increases the duration of it. But I was like, oh shoot, that's okay, that's new. So that's gonna be for somebody that gets lucky and they get a local, they might have the opportunity to start out with her too, and that's gonna help them out a lot with their fire team and actually the support that they have. Luckily though, whether we win this or not, we still get Orisa, so there's that. I'm hoping this rotation though, I am able to get my hands on like what's his name? It's the Goblin dude. I still don't have him on my main account, and I'm kind of mad because he's low-key good. You said immunity, they're making Pentiax free. Yeah, bro, you see that, right? I was like, dang. I was like, okay. So, and like realistically, that person has 70K, but that's really not that high. Like that's actually not high at all because like a mission completion here. So if you are in a welcome tournament, just know like there's literally like missions that can give you 50K. Like there's like, so that guy did get, he either did one or two things. He either did guarantee a legendary or he got lucky. And it's one of the two things. I don't know if I got placed in a group of people that's been playing a little bit longer, but looking at it, he may have spent. He may have. Because at 17, he could have gotten lucky though. He could have gotten lucky and got his 5-star. He could have gotten lucky, or she. I'm not sure, you know. But yeah, everybody else is around like that 11, 12 range. So he's like level 17. So he could be just grinding and got lucky. So I can't really tell, but yeah, that's kind of insane. So I'm like, dang, dude, you just balling right now. You said, Chad, this is the GOAT. Yeah, it's kind of funny because there's so many memes of that character. But yeah, that was like a hard carry for a lot of people when they first started out. There's a lot of people that are playing free to play, and they've been playing for quite a bit. So you might see them and you're like, oh, they're in gold, you know, arena doing this. It's like, nope, those dudes are low-key just invested, and their accounts are a little stacked now because they just been here. Let me see here. Let me make sure I'm on the right mission, though. Make sure we're on the right mission. So, let's see. We're on page 3. I need to do that. 3 relics to level 10. Win a 2 arena. Ascend Invoker to 3-star. All right, so that means I got a level of 2-star. Now, with that mission, when it comes to those missions where it's like use a skill up on, it's pretty safe to use it on your starter. Like obviously, like I mentioned before, don't level like all the way because there's going to be systems that come later that just makes your life easier. But if you have to use a book, it's not going to like EOS your account, you know, like yeah, it's okay. The mission, it's fine to do. It's usually like 1 blue book or whatever it is. And it's worth doing it on your rare versus like doing it on an uncommon, in my opinion. So upgrade 3 relics to level 10. Nice thing with this game is that, let me actually see. Do we have any? We do. I'm going to get her an attack set soon. We're going to just upgrade these. Now, for any of you guys that are here, that's the other thing. You guys get special sauce, okay? Now, when it comes to gearing, you don't want to make the mistake when it comes to like damage dealers, for example. Or let's start it with the tank. So like with the tank, HP defense, it's like your standard bulk stats. HP is your best friend, really. You know, you have the HP set that you start out with. That's perfectly okay to push on the character. Like most of your starter gear is going to be campaign gear, right? When you're talking about damage dealers, like most damage dealers, just give them attack. Like don't try to be all like, don't try to like crit focus them and all that crap, because you're not gonna be able to hit those thresholds at all. Like new players, you could, like, if anybody's telling you to build anything crit, you better have a Sebastian that's that's leveled. Like that or Neville or somebody that's giving you crit. And even then, you're still not gonna be off of this earlier gear. You're just not even gonna be remotely close to like that I say 65 to 70% threshold you really want to be at. It's just not gonna happen. It's not possible. So it's better to just outright build into attack. And then later down the line, once you start getting some better gear, you'll be able to you'll kind of be able to shift that. But you know, beginner things. Let me see real quick. Hold on one sec, chat. You said red Mula? Hold on, let me Red Mula. Sorry, I don't remember every character by name yet. There's like 1,000 characters in this game, and that's like almost not even a joke. But you said Red Mula? What faction are they? If you don't mind me asking, because I'm almost certain I know the unit, but the name isn't popping any like visible pictures in my head. So, yo, what's good, kid? Though you said you just woke up from your nap. Let's see. Okay, there we go. You say you keep seeing her on tier list? Red Mula. Hold on. I'm almost is somebody's name Red Mula? I'm like, am I missing something? Hold on. Are you because I mean we have a character named Red Riot, but Red Mula, what? Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me, unless I'm looking and I'm just blind or something, because do we even have a character named Mula? I like that name just doesn't ring any bell at all. You said, hope you get a chance to test out the new LD4 from Nocturna. He's a solo maniac. You said Malia? Hold on. What rarity is that unit? Oh, a common? Oh, dog. Yeah, see that? Yeah, no. I would be 1,000% honest. Okay, so there's Mula. Okay, never knew that was her name, by the way. So Mula, right? I don't know what tier list you're seeing, but you're saying like top of the tier list? Because I think that's a little troll if it is. I would be honest. You said she was freeborn too? No. Oh, Red Mule? Oh, Malia. Okay, so maybe Tower? I could see maybe that might be blind, debuff extension, bleed. It could be. See, that's the thing, and I can't vouch for every source that exists, because here's the problem. I can see like she has bleed. If it was bleed prior to it getting adjusted, it probably has some validity to it, but bleed is not like the wave for most new accounts at at this point. Like bleed can do fairly okay in the beginning, but then like when you get to like the meat of the game, like bleed like drops pretty hard. And then when you get to like the latter parts of the game, then it starts to average out to be really good with like outright damage. Yeah, bleed at one point, like when I started, bleed was the only thing you really built. It almost made no sense to build anything else, actually. So most people's accounts was like super heavily bleed focused. It was bleed or burn. You built into that dot and it basically killed everything. And they had to adjust the bosses, because I got it. Like if you could use one team to kill every boss, that's kind of boring. I'm gonna be honest. Like that is. Like that was kind of what it was before. So also too, you have to factor in that like lower rarity, like in terms of like outright stats, they're just never going to be as good as uh as the next rarity up. So like even with like the new character Tyrannus, for example, like he's the only legendary DPS that we have for Eldrin. And when like faction content comes with the roguelike, they've mentioned that only they're gonna have different modifiers or effects where like only rares can be used, or only uncommons can be used, or only Eldrin can be used. You kind of want to have options at that point, so they have been very clear that there's going to be that type of content. So that's kind of what I think you're going to have to really look at with your account, is like, what am I missing and what do I need, to be effective. And then like, once we get like the skill up shops and stuff like that, things will be like super, super, nice to invest in them fully and really get the value out of like rares and stuff like that too. You say you're about to get on my new account and play along. Did you start another one, bro? Are you like, did you start all over again? Or this is the one you started yesterday? He said, "Rip to every max Sodoma out there." Oh, dude, I at least like wish I got to use my Sodoma. I maxed her, and then the adjustments happened to bleed, and I was so bad. I was like, man, I didn't get to use that at all. Like, I legitimately built her and didn't even get to use her in anything. Like, I was so sad. I was like, dude. So, I mean, granted, I'll have probably some other areas that I can use her in later, but that did suck. I was like, dang. So, at least that everybody else got to get that little bit of enjoyment out of using her, because I was like, and that's what actually made me build her, because it was like I was seeing people's videos that they were sharing in the Discord of her damage, and I was like, yo, like, I'm like, what the heck? Like, that's crazy. So yeah, it is what it is, though. It's to be expected. It's to be expected. Wait, so can you check out Rodin's skills? He's an uncommon Stoneheart. Yeah, I can definitely check that out. It's probably still usable, because like there's definitely like a lot of usable characters. Like there's obviously it's gonna be the dudes that are like, hey, I maxed out everything, just don't use that. But like, to be fair, as a free to play, you gotta use stuff. Like there's no way around it. There's no way around it, dude. Let's see here. Oh, and just FYI, don't take this tier list in game serious, guys. Do not take this tier list seriously. It is actually low-key trolls. So like, do not take this serious. It's a work in progress. The community is kind of like voting on certain things, and some people are like intentionally rating certain characters low so that they don't get nerfed. That's like so like, if you were just following that, do note that is not it's not the most accurate tier list in game. So hopefully, as more players come into the game, that'll be a little bit better. But yeah, don't get trolled. So Rodin actually does get used. He does get used in some stuff. So the Mind Worm. So disabling a recipient's passive skill and blocking them from activating it, like, stealing buffs, and I could definitely say, like, that's why, like, that team I just fought, for example, somebody put him in PvP. You're not really too concerned with that with too many enemies, for example. Like, not really at all. Blocking buffs from being applied to the recipient. Jinx can be very beneficial. Defense break, you can get better. 18% is not bad. Yeah, Mind Worth is good from Nissi. You're right, it is. You know what too, and that might be my issue, is that I went into Nissi with freaking Nerval so early, it just didn't matter. It's like, I was just like, well, my team ain't gonna die no way, so like, so yeah, that is true. Yeah, Nissi, yeah, that is pretty good there. And that's another thing too. Actually, I'm glad you said that, because I don't know if the buffs are active. Yeah, Nerval, I don't know if they're gonna keep her like that into global release, man. Like, she's just way too crazy. Yeah, so this hasn't even unlocked yet. I know once this unlocked, that should be unlocked for like a week or something like that. It said Foul Ray. Foul Ray is an Eldrin, and yes, she is pretty good. She's a very, very good character. Where are we at? Boop. Yeah, Foul Ray is very good. I like, honestly, out of the Foul Ray you care to build, she's one of them. Buff still, reduction cooldown for her own active skills, Jinx in her kit, ultimate mana gain if she's hitting into a target with no buffs. She has pretty good damage output too. The only other characters, I mean, no. Actually, if I had to give you my top 3 out of these for damage, it would be Foul Ray, Kalis, who's fusion. Yes, her base attack is very high. And then Almia is actually a little bit noticeable too. Confar is a tank. He's a really weird character in that way. He's very good. Confar is very good, but he's not really what you would consider to be a. He can do damage because he has dot. But the other thing about him that's kind of like, it's the shielding. It's the like fact he gains extra value off the damage he does. Like yeah, this dude is like, he's basically a better version of Bullis, to be honest, just minus the taunt. If they would have given him a taunt, he'd be busted. Like, he's already pretty nuts. He carried my other account pretty hard. And then the other thing is that in this game, one thing that does matter, and a lot of people may not, it's going to take them some time to maybe get used to it. A character's actual like radius and ability and how it works does kind of matter quite a bit. He has such a really good ability. Like, his ult, like, it's really, really good. Like, it hits a lot of stuff. He has res down. Like, his kit is nuts. Like, he's definitely the cream of the crop epics in the game. Out of the tanks, and a lot of content you can kind of like not run certain things, but he's definitely one that I used in quite a bit to help push my account. Rickarel, he's still, I haven't really used him in anything other than Spire, but he does the job that I need him to. I mean, taunt tanks are still good for helping you push content where you're trying to keep your DPS alive, because like monster density and stuff like that just gets ridiculous going into like insane, going up higher in the tower. When you're talking about your characters are built DPS, full DPS squishy builds and stuff like that. Like, a lot of the times for PvE, especially because we're operating with 5-star gear still, we're not getting the full effect of like 6-star gear yet. We build, and that's a little hack too. If you want your characters to survive a little bit better, just build a little bulk into them. You take some of that damage away, but the more survivability gives, like, say for example, your support enough time to get back up their skill to heal. Or your tank more time to get back up his AoE taunt, so it's kind of like playing to those things, and then as you invest more into like the ascensions and things of that nature, then you get more stat yield, you can lighten up on other values and then invest in other ones. So yeah, like he's also pretty solid as well. You said I was going to build a Confar, a Rickarel, a Fulric Felray, and hope to pull Sonar and then wait for legendaries. It seems pretty good to me. If that's what you have, yeah. Like, Sonar is a great healer. There's some pretty good healers that you can get. If you have Orisa, she's still very like useful. What else was I using for some stuff? This like the epic chick that they just put in the game. She hasn't been in the game long, but she's currently on the new player mission thing. She's pretty good, but that's actually really good. Like those units are actually really, really nice. Hold on, I missed your comment, Gove. Hold on, let me go back to it. I'm sorry. You said, hey, I found this channel today. You do a great job introducing new players to the game. Yo, I appreciate that too. I appreciate that. You said I gave the game a decent push today, but so far I think the summons are very scuffed. I do not see a new account getting a legendary soon. So the maximum amount of time it can take you to get a legendary, and this is like a fact, is 2 weeks. The only reason why I know that number is because I've done this process now. This is my 4th time starting a new account. and I've gotten it as early as like my second day versus like pushing to 2 weeks. Because if you're following the guided mission quest, it is exactly 2 weeks that it should take. If you're like hardcore grinding, it takes exactly 2 weeks. If you're like completely unlucky and nothing procs, I think you get that was their first pity is like 60 pools or something like that. It takes about 2 weeks. So at that point too, it does give you a little bit of room to know what you have on your account and what you may want to get rid of. So yeah, I think I got a seeded account, 7 epics and 10 blues. Yeah, bro, my last free to play account, I was running around with like I had like 2 epics on my account. That's like I was like, yo, I still made it work, but it was just like I was like, all right. So I was over there like investing more in some characters I probably just should not have, but yeah, it's like that. Now, what I will say though is that I know that the devs are like they're aware, they're like looking at data and stuff like that, and so they're always like adjusting things. So like the new player experience, even since I played, has it's adjusted. Like they're not keeping it exactly the same. Like the units you got in the beginning, like for example, to give you perspective, right? So when you first started, when I started, this was like 6-7 months ago, just about almost now. When you first started, your starters wasn't even rares; it was uncommons. Um, your starters was where's this chick at? Let me see. I think one of them was nope, not that one. Nope. Let me see. Actually, I think did they give us a common? Were they really trolling us at that time? I think so, low key. Your starter was nope, Cambion, nope, Freeborn, maybe Freeborn, nope, not Freeborn. I think maybe Beast Blood, nope, not Beast Blood. So what class are you? Nope. I know she's uncommon and she is an archer. Oh, okay. So here's one of them, right? So this was our original tank that we were getting. So we didn't get Bullis. They implemented Bullis instead because when they made him, I did a series with him where I got him and he was just mad busted to start out with. So I was like, all right, cool. This was the tank we got before. And then the damage dealer that we got was let's see, what was she, Magi? I can't remember what she was. That's like, it's crazy how like I've already forgotten about her existence, but she may have been Lightseeker too. Yeah, she was Lightseeker. It was Demistia. This was the range character that we got. So our range units, so now we get the current units that we have, which is Bullis. We get, I think he's Nocturna. We get Atryu, which is like a significantly better range character to use. And we also have our starter, and then who's the other one? The healer, what is she? Iron Bands. Drovis. Drovis, not the best healer, but usable. Like honestly, she's not the best, but she's usable. So yeah, that was already a big thing that changed that progression all in its own. So going from like 2 uncommons to now you got your full team of rares, then your starter character. Starters have been pretty, like in reality, you can pick up any starter and be fine. You said Nocturne blue rarity. Nope, bro. It was two uncommons we had, and I think we had I think it was just a starter in those 2, unless I'm missing another character that we had. I don't know if it was a different support, but I do remember when I started, that was the characters I got in the beginning. You said, what is this game? Is it new? Technically, yes. It's in a early. It's going from a closed early access to a open early access, if that makes sense. A very unique situation, but the game is accessible in a lot more regions now, so it's basically a non-wipe on the game right now. So if you make your account play, it's not a global launch yet. But yeah, if you make your account and play, you keep all your progression basically. There, spending is a thing as well for those that spend. So You said the Wolf Girl and the Whirlwind Paladin seem. Wait, you said Wolf Girl and Whirlwind Paladin seem like the best starters. Yeah, you're talking about Danos and Arissa. I mean, Silnath is still pretty usable. Like, she's actually still pretty good. Like, a lot of people started with her, and she was really good. And this was even after the bleed adjustment. But like I said, any starter technically can still push content. It's just like the extras that they have. Like, the others just have a lot more utility, in my opinion. So it just makes more sense to build them, really. Oh yeah, it was a Scythe Dark Girl. Yeah. So it was the 2 uncommons, the Scythe Dark Girl and Helia. Is what we started with. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I was like, I know it was like, it was definitely those 2 uncommons. Because I was like, yo, what the heck? I was like, dude, I was like, but I was cooking with those uncommons for a minute. That's why I think, like, for example, there's gonna be one uncommon that is low-key really, really good in the earlier days in your account. Not so much once you start getting better stuff, of course, but Riki is her name. She's a beast blood. I like low-key trolled and 6-starred her, and I was using her in my tower climb, like low-key, and she was popping off. I was like, okay, this is low-key. She was actually a really, and what's funny is that she was actually like, if she wasn't an uncommon, she would absolutely be a beast of a unit. Like, if they at least just shifted her up to a rare stat wise, like, she would be nuts. She would actually be really, really good. Because it was just like her, again, like the application of her kit, how she did things, her movement, all that stuff was like really good for her uncommon. So she was definitely like one of those like uncommons, or rares in an uncommon skin, basically. You said, wasn't there a poisoner archer you were using, or was it bleed? Poison archer? No, when I was using, I mean, maybe you're referring to Sodoma. That was a little bit later on my account. When I first started getting bleed, it was 2 characters I was using. One was Modak, and the other one was a character named, Christ, I can't think of his name right now. I'll always call him Ninja Gaiden, though. What is this dude? It was Modak and they were the only 2 I was using. And I think Modak is... Wait, hold on. Mangai, Camion, Freeborn. Yeah, that's Sodoma. Yeah, so Sodoma was the other one I was using. He's Iron Band. I'm trolling. Yeah, Modak. Yeah, Modak was the bleed unit, the first bleed unit I really built. And he was pretty busted. Like, yeah, for just strictly bleed, dude was pretty nuts. The other one I was using, let me see where he's at. I thought he was Nocturna. Am I trolling? Or did like he just, is he like, did he disappear? Or am I trolling? Like, no way he was a light seeker. He's a light seeker? Oh, okay. Nixtra. Yeah, so it was this dude. I didn't know he was a light seeker. I'm gonna be honest. I always thought he was a whatchamacallit, freaking yeah, this is because he like flies around and stuff like that. I don't know what that was, but whoever did it, I appreciate you. I think that was a sub. Was that a sub? Whoever just did that, I appreciate you. I heard it just now, probably like 20 minutes after you did it, but oh, Kirito did it? Yo, appreciate you, Kirito. I'm like just didn't even give me the notification. Thanks, bro. Yeah, so yeah. That's that. Yeah, I was using uncommons for a bit though, but it was like Reki. So Reki was the one I was using. Blah 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 blah. Where's she at? Yeah, Reki was the one that I was using. She's a beast blood, and she's literally the only dark uncommon, but she like low key. I maybe I can convince the devs to make her not uncommon because she's really not. Um, you say he does not look like a light seeker. Yeah, that I always thought he was. I always thought he was Iron Bands. I don't know. Yeah, he just did not. He never gave me that. So you say you think you got her? She's gonna. You can technically still build her to climb dark because you got to remember you're not gonna get a lot of. You're not gonna be running around with like, light and dark 3 stars right off rip. She is actually very good to use for your tower push. Her shock ability is like really good. Like, yeah, Spire, yeah, Dark Spire. She has a ton of shock in her kit. Granted, they gave her a nice crit damage up buff, but the problem is that early, like I mentioned, like you can't really build into crit as much as you would like to. But yeah, I mean, granted, if you have the right buffers with a character, then it don't matter. But yeah, just like standalone, it takes a little bit of time. You said 5 times Ricky's, 5 times Chase. Yeah, that was a thing. I seen that. I was seeing people do that. I was like, hey, that's what you had to do. That's why I think when people were like, oh, it's not, you can't, and I'm like, dude, people are literally just using the same character, and they're not hard to get. Like they're literally from Wild Stars. You said, is there an actual reroll strategy or is it pointless? Right now, yes. So I know that they had, and they may do some things where they may change it in the future. I can't really say it 100% because I don't know what the devs want to do when it comes to this. But they were having some stuff happen, I think, with like, buying and selling of accounts. So they changed a lot of how you could actually start the game. I would say I'm hoping that at some point, what I would like is there to be a legendary login bonus that's like within a certain amount of time than it just outright being summons. So I'm either hoping for something like that in the future as far as like a potential change. If not, just something that kind of helps guide you with resources. So you kind of have like, I always look at it from this perspective. Not everybody watches YouTube. There's some people that just download the game and start playing. I feel like it's going to be a better, more streamlined process for people if they have things that kind of like, like games like Summoner's War have, where you have like this very clearly indicated, this is where you start as a new player. You get X thing as you progress. Here's this unit. This unit specifically is good for this. It just makes it a lot easier for casuals to get into the game. Because I don't consider myself to be a casual. That's the other thing. I'm very much so the person that will sit and sweat and do every little tedious thing, in my opinion. I'll sit and do it. So that's kind of that. You said rerolling such a slug, so I would not recommend it. Yeah, I personally wouldn't reroll. And then there is no real reroll strategy either. So again, I have somebody in my community, homie Kirito. That man's done like probably like 50 accounts at this point, and he's mad every time. So I just wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. So yeah, wouldn't do it. You said not enough summons first few days for new players to stick in the game, in my opinion. I think that's the problem too, is that like, okay, let's say they did give you more summons and you started pulling legendaries, you couldn't actually use them all anyway. Like the thing that really makes units activate is then you have to invest skill material into them. You have to awaken them. Rares and epics do cost is actually significantly less to invest. That's why the stuff that we have coming that they've talked about is like the shop where we'll be able to take duplicates of the rares and turn them into skill books, and get a kickback from that, so that we can actually build our rares without using our other codexes, so that when you do get your other rarities, your epics, your legendaries, you can actually build them. So I think that's kind of like the things that we know are coming, at least. So I think that's kind of one of their ways of kind of addressing that. Because yeah, like I agree with that in the sense of like, yeah, absolutely give players more of something, but then you have another problem arise where people will have all these like super high rarity things, but they can't actually really build them. And so depending on the flow of what they want the game to be, they got to find the medium there. And so if it's like they want us to be building rares and to, graduating your account, I think that that's always the clear thing that devs have to at some point say is, what do you want your player experience to be? Is this a game that you want people to play for the long haul, or is this a game that you want people to get on for 10 minutes and leave? It really all depends. Like, point in case, Star Sailors is a side game, Star Sailors is completely a side game. I can get on that game in literally 2 minutes and I'm not even done, and I'm done for the whole day. Like that game has almost no replayability in the sense of like, I really like, I'm about to grind out today. Woo, like it's really, that game is like through and through, even into end game is very much so from beginning to end. It is a 2-minute grind every day. And it may be 5 when you first start the game. But that's like, that's just how they did their game. But they were very clear. We're only going to update the game once a month. And I'm just like, you either decide, hey, I like that, I'm cool with that, or that ain't it for me, and that game is absolutely like by design, how they proposed it. I will say that like most games are by design, and when we're talking about gacha, they're made for spenders, if we're being real. Like every gacha is to some degree. It's how they package it and what they're packaging, right? So Star Sailors just was like, we'll give you summons and stuff like that, but we ain't gonna give you no stamina. So like, you can summon, but you can't really play. It's like hey. Like, it's kind of funny. I laugh at that type of stuff because it is funny. It's like, hey, we'll give you summons, but you gonna have to give us $100 for this stamina pack. Like, so I'm like, it's just what they package. And what's crazy is that it works for that game. Like there's people that are spending crazy amounts for just stamina, just to play the game. The game is like in terms of graphics and the mechanics and how it works, like it's a cool game. But it's that when you make a gacha game, you have certain confined things that you have to figure, or that you have to factor in to monetize, right? So that's why, like for me, from here on into the future, I always try my best to keep these types of series and doing like stuff to kind of show like, okay, you can enjoy the game. You don't get the same dopamine effect as like a well. But I also noticed, like for me, like for example, like this event that we just had was super rewarding for me because I didn't have the ability to buy anything. I was stacking up currency. I was like, all right, I was stuck on Althar. My water spire was trash. Like I was like, so it felt good to actually get things that like I saved up for. And then it actually gave you something that I was like, okay, I can actually do something with this. So I was like, yeah, I think the dopamine and the rewarding factor is just different. Like for some people, when this stuff came, they were like, I don't need to save. I'm a drop. Like there's some guys in the guild I'm in, they've been dropping summons like the whole 3 weeks. And I'm like, dog. I'm like, dude, I wish. It's like super funny. And but again, that's for some people too, I realize like this may be the only game they play. Like I've kind of like started to also understand that too. Like some people may spend the way they do because they don't spend that way on every single game they play, He said guilty here. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If you like genuinely, if you're enjoying something and this is your game, hey, enjoy it in the best way you can. Like I mean, honestly, that's why I always think it's weird when people do like the free to play versus pay to win arguments in the community. I get it in the sense of like experience of the game for as far as like players to developer. But I think within the community, like if somebody spends $1 billion on the game, that's their $1 billion and they're entitled to do that. I might not spend $1 billion, but I also am guilty too. Like I've spent my fair share in gacha games. I'm definitely not innocent. When you say you hate him so much, you said I don't think he was talking about Wait, you say he wasn't talking about? Wait, what are you talking about, Kirito? What was he talking about there? He says he just here watching you get bullied. Oh, you're talking about Kirito? He said literally the only gacha I spent on. I've been a competitive Epic 7 player, but I didn't spend a dime. Not sure what draws me to chip in here. Honestly, I will say like out of he deleted the messages. Oh, okay, because I didn't see any. Yeah, for me with this game, I've said this to the devs, okay, point in case, right? I don't have any incentive to be playing the game in the capacity, making guides and doing certain things I'm doing now. That like, there's no incentive. I just genuinely have fun playing the game, and I think that's the thing. It's like I usually will find a game that I'll commit myself to, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play that for years to come. Like there's a game, some of the guys here know it. Last Claudia. That game was when I say that game was so scummy. They did not care. They weren't trying to hide it. They made it known like we are trying to milk you. But I like that game for what it was. I unfortunately I did spend at the time. But now I just experienced the game. I play it free to play. My account's super stacked in that game. But not much has really changed. That game is like almost pushing a decade old now. But I play that game just simply because I enjoy the gameplay, the mechanics. No other real reason, right? You said they still scummy. Low key, they are, right? Like the pity system sucks, like, and it just been that way for almost a decade. Like they did streamline the new player experience somewhat, but overall, how you summon in that game just is trash. So yeah, like that game, I genuinely just play because I enjoy it. There's another game I play just because I enjoy it, JJK Phantom Parade. I'm super consistent with that game, and I literally there's nobody is really making content outside of a couple of people, and the global community is pretty small. But I like JJK, and I like that game's turn-based mechanics, so I play it a lot. You said I'm playing 3 different action RPGs on mobile at the moment, and one is 100% free to play, one is semi free to play, and then there's Invokers. Yo, hey, listen, it's how it is. It's how it is. But that's the thing. It's like you got to enjoy games for what they're worth, and really do it for you at the end of the day. And some people I do get, they play games socially, so they make it about like, oh, my friend group or the community I'm a part of, whatever it may be. But yeah, you really have to play games for yourself. I think that's always by design what gaming was supposed to be. It was really enjoying it for yourself at the end of the day. He said, man, I started playing back in May 2025, and I've been blue balled until January 2026. Wasn't possible to pay for anything. That's a crazy amount of dedication too, because I would argue that's actually almost kind of worse. Like there's some people that's like, oh, the monetization, but I'm like, man, you guys at least get to complain about it. When you're playing a game, you cannot. There is no option. You just it just is what it is. So even if like you got like a nice little check or you got some birthday money, you couldn't even get a little battle pass. Nothing. It's just free to play it's really forced to play free to play. That's kind of funny though. Forced to play free to play. It's like all gacha games are good for 3 months, in my opinion, so you hit that slow wall of progression. I think, but that's also too like that just also is like, what are you willing to commit your time to, right? Like if you don't mind, if you really genuinely enjoy a game, when that wall comes, it's not gonna really be as big of a deal as it is for somebody else that's like, I need the constant dopamine, like that's what it really boils down to. Some people need that constant dopamine. And okay, so take this for example, like, okay, take Raid Shadow Legends, for example. One lesson I had to learn with Raid was like, I used to have this impression that like the game's not good because people don't get to do X thing fast enough, right? But then when I actually started making content, when I was making content way back when on Raid, there's so many people that's low-key content with that game as is. Like, they don't care. Like, there's actually a lot of people that's like, I got money to spend. And Raid is something I like to spend money on. So like they don't really care. They're just like, I enjoy it. This is what I spend money on. And then when you look at like the actual data on like what age group plays Raid, yo, it's like Raid is like 35 plus on average. Like so it's like you're starting to push into like early 40s is a vast majority of your player base. And so a lot of those guys, when you really think about it, they're probably not the people that's playing 50 gachas like some of the 20-year-olds are, right? Like I really don't meet too many guys in their mid 30s, if not higher, that's playing 50 gachas at once. They're usually like, I found this one. This is the one I play. I play, I've been playing Raid for 10 years. like they're not dopamine chasing on multiple games. They're just experiencing it on that one. And so when you really think about it, it's like, okay, it kind of makes sense that they have these people that spend X amount, because it's not like they're spending it all over the place. It's just this one game that they enjoy. So that's like one thing that I had to kind of accept that. I was like, well, yeah, there's just people that they just enjoy it, and that's their game. It's kind of like even there's those people that play like Genshin Impact, and they don't interact with YouTube, Reddit, Discord. They just play Genshin, and that game could be on fire, socially or on social media, and it doesn't bother them none. They're like, hey, I get on here, I'm gonna go pick my mushrooms and call it a day. You said dopamine rushes from getting 4 times substats. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't you love the dopamine rush when you get that 4 times substat on a gear piece that isn't actually for a damage dealer, and the substats for a damage dealer? Don't you love that? Like, yeah, that's it's like, ooh, this is going somewhere. I'm about to have you running around with broken builds. It's unfortunate for flat defense. Like, low key, that's kind of funny though. It's, I have to applaud the animation team for the running animations, especially for the Stoneheart faction. Yeah, they really like to be fair, if we're talking about like the quality of this game, it is very high. Like it is pretty high. That's why I can't wait till they have the PC client, because that to me is gonna be the best thing. I like Google Play sometimes is just like it works when it wants to, and then it just doesn't sometimes. But that's also like what you guys are seeing right now is even the game's full quality. When if you have the chance, like if you've seen this game on Google Play beta, this game looks amazing. Like this is watered down. Like and I'm not even trolling when I say that. Like that's not cope. That's not like, oh, he's trying to stand his game. Like, no, this game looks crazy good, not on emulator. Like, so yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, for a lot of people, they're having trouble running it on Google Play beta, which is why I think the devs were trying to rush their PC client, the desktop version, so that players can play that. He's like currently making a Hasana with 250 accuracy, skill recovery, 30% mana. Man, that's crazy. That's like I feel like at that point, like you gotta be like damn near swimming in like just straight 5-star legendary pieces, because I'm still at that point too where I haven't gotten enough crit gear and like certain gear, like the mana gear, for me to really fine tune to that degree. So that's like it's open beta right now. It's really a open beta early access. It's non-white. It's weird. The terms still get me. Games will say they're in closed beta or tech test or early access. Invokers has been in both somehow at the same time. We were like in a closed beta early access, I guess. So there was that. All right, so cool. We got a 5-star unit drop. So now we can add this unit to our team. I got to go back and 3-star or 2-star, sorry, some of these stages. He said, yeah, unfortunately, Google Play has never worked on my laptop for some reason. Yeah, it doesn't work on my computer either. That's why I don't use it. It actually caused my computer to start like low-key having seizures. So I was just like, yeah, we're not finna do that. And it was like I said, amazing quality, but then my game was just lagging. So I did try it, but it just wasn't it. All right, so we gotta do another 2 arena battles. We got to go into Spire. Now, I will say, normally I would be progressing on this like a little bit faster, but like, you know, streaming, talking, and trying to do this at the same time is it's a process, low key. You said I got 2 pieces. 2 pieces with 73 accuracy subs on them. It's rough. Wait, 2 pieces with 73 on a sub? Jesus, I don't even think I got one. Like, you said, what time is daily reset in EST? Daily reset in Invokers, my time is about... I'm trying to think, 7 or 8. I think it's 8. I think it's 8 p.m. Yeah. Yeah, it's 8. But the weird thing is that events don't reset when reset happens. So, like for example, reset for login bonuses is at 8, but then like events will reset in the morning, right? Like, and I think it's actually 8 in the morning. So it's like it's weird how it works, but yeah, the events, you still have a little bit of time, even if the game resets for the login dailies and stuff like that. which is kind of nice, because I've had like even within the tournaments, it's like I think it's like 8 in the morning. So it's like I had sometimes with the current tournaments where I like woke up right before a tournament was coming to an end, and I was able to like kind of do some stuff right beforehand without being like dead tired. So yeah, that was pretty nice. Let's see, claim, Mortar Spire, battle, boom. And now I'll do fire, because I need to actually burn these before reset really quick. Actually, I'm kind of trolling, but I was trying to like follow the missions. We'll take him out, we'll throw her in. Yo, what's up, Shiroshi? How you doing, fam? Yeah, so I'm gonna throw them in for right now, and then we'll let them just cook in here. And that's the other thing too, they gain EXP, so that'll be cool. So I'm looking for a second game while I wait for another game to launch. I mean, this game's worth trying, man. I mean, like I said, for me, I like for a while I played this game like kind of on and off. Like I actually didn't play every single day, and then I started taking the game kind of serious, and then it was like, oh, okay, this kind of lit. And like once you really start getting your account fleshed out. Oh, and that's one other thing. I'm probably gonna make a video about it, but Invoker rarity matters, but it really doesn't matter that much when it comes to Titans. Like it is a thing, but it's not really. It's more important to synergize properly than it is to have a legendary Titan matched up with a legendary Invoker, right? That's one thing that, like, you know, when you talk about like character pressure, there is not as much character pressure on the Titan side. People just don't like the idea of investing in a rare over a legendary, but to be fair, it's way harder to get Titans. And the other thing that even I've come to find as I've gotten like into higher elos, some of the strongest combinations in the game, period, is, okay, take for example, it's like Nerval and it's this wolf rare Titan. Like it's not a legendary, right? Like it's so you got like some crazy strong like high elo teams where they're using rares, you know, like, and to be fair, like even comparatively to like building up a legendary fully, way easier. So I think it's this guy. Yeah, I think it's Warif. I think one of her top pairings is Warif. Hold on, I can actually check it because I got my main account up. I think it's Warif. So like she's an epic, and then she uses a rare Titan, but it's the synergy and the team layout that you're doing. So like even when you're making your teams for like PvP and all that stuff, like it's invocation, like order, like who's doing what. There's a ability pop that you get when you summon your Titan, and then there's one that you get as soon as you're leaving the field, right? So they're like that's like the things that those higher elo longer term players kind of know. It's like it's not just the rarity, it's what does it actually do. So like for example, like I mean there's a good amount of people running around with the mythical Titan, but that's not the predominant Titan that you see on like a lot of teams. If somebody has them, they might build them, but there's some like Thao, for example, is one of the strong Stoneheart legendaries. You never see him on the mythical Titan because the mythical Titan is not even for a damage dealer. It's more catered for tanking. So I'm kind of tired. I actually lost. He said lost my ever loving mind yesterday. What did you like? Stay up late or something? Let's see here. I got to do one more floor for this, and we're done. Yeah, did you stay up late, bro? Like, what happened? Yeah, this is like a little. Have to put some pep in my step on some of these missions. Said no at work. Everything that could have went wrong in a way that normally doesn't bother me much. Well, I hope you're okay, man. I appreciate you for stopping by too. So I am fairly chill for the most part. Yeah, I hope everything. Number one, I hope everything works out, man. I hope you're okay, and yeah, like I said, I appreciate you for coming here. That, you know, it's kind of makes me feel good because that means I obviously offer some chill vibes. Cause shoot, I'd be like, man, I'm about to go to sleep. So I'm fine. So my day just went bad. Yeah. To better days, man. Invisible drink, you know, to better days. But no, seriously, Shiroshi, I hope you're doing all right, bro. Let me see. Okay, so mission 25 or higher now. Okay. So, yeah, we're like 2 away. Boop. All right, there we go. And Salissa. Bam, bang. There we go. We are cooking. Actually, we should have some more points, too. Okay, yeah, we're at 7K. Oh, you know what? I'm about to low-key take over this leaderboard because they're trolling. I'm about to definitely try. Oh, go back. All right, cool. Tyrannus. Yeah, I wish I could do this chase because I really honestly think Tyrannus would be insane for a fresh account. But what I will say is if we do somehow magically get any crowns, those crowns will be they will be used in the shop itself for the extra resources, not not obviously the character. You said can't wait for guilds. I think dude, yeah, the guild stuff in this game I think is going to be really fun, to be honest. Win 3 gauntlets from chapter 2, level 6 in campaign, normal difficulty. Might as well do this. We're gonna we do 5. Yeah, the guild content I think is gonna be really fun. All right. And I got to 2-star this. Yeah, I am so happy now that I do not have to keep doing these missions for chest on my main account. To answer that question, because I know some people are probably gonna ask it at some point, but if you're wondering in terms of like grind time per day, the most grind you have in the game, like bro, this chest is all the way in the corner. The most grind time you have per day is really is like on a seasoned account is like spending your energy and doing your dailies. Like that's really it. And then if you're obviously buying stamina, then there's that. But like the most grinding happens in this phase of the game, I would say. The first few months, I would say, is like super extensive because you're trying to get your account built. I really say the first month. First month is like actually the most grindy, and then after that, it's like dailies, doing what you can and stuff like that. You said, did I apply for the mod? I was thinking about it, but I was like, I don't know. Like, should I do mod stuff? I mean, I could. I feel like the devs would probably like that because, you know, I think, you know, I feel like I'm trustworthy. Like, and I'm pretty level-headed too. Like, I generally never, I really don't be trying to argue with people. I be laughing at everything. And I really try to help people too. So, you said it's getting painful getting them chests, too much work. Well, Kirito, when you're on your like fifth or sixth account doing it, yeah, that's, I mean, burned out. I'm not finna do that many times. Like that's a lot on anyone, man. Like doing it the one time was a lot, right? But now I will say too, like there was a lot of stages I just never did, and when they added the time completions, I just did it with like clearing the stage fast enough, and that completely solved that problem. You said, to be fair, it's painful because 75% of rares are low tier re-rolling. Is that re-rolling, you mean? Well, see, that's the other thing too. It's like, even like take for example like the homie Mighty Zoo's tier list. Everything that he has in his tier list is based off of max level. It's not based off of like semi-leveled legendaries. It's based off of max level. Now, you then have to ask the question, and Waffles can probably answer this. Waffles, when you weren't able to spend it all, how long did it take you to actually max out your first legendary? Or were you able to actually max out once you started spending? So yeah, it's based on an opinion of the top player. Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why I said like the reality of it is that like that's just, it's relevant but kind of subjective at the same time. So it's like I agree with like, I say 99% of it. I agree with 99% of the tier list. But again, the issue that you run into is that most players are not going to be anywhere remotely close to maxing out a character. Like, it's just not possible. So like a rare semi-invested at X point might be better than a base legendary, depending on who it is. Because some characters, like take like Tassia, for example. Tassia is a super nutty character. She's cream of the crop support. But one of the things a lot of people don't realize is that the skill that really helps define her, you have to level that skill at least up to level 7. And that is her revive. When she gets that revive, you start playing a whole nother game with her. But before then, you know, she's not, it's like she's missing something in a way, right? Like she still is competent to some degree, but that extra thing night and days her. Even down, like, take Sebastian, for example. Sebastian's radius of who he can cover with his abilities, they change once he gets those investments and his skills. So, like, a lot of the legendaries, like, it's like, once you get that investment in them, yeah, it's undoubtable. But, like, before then, you can kind of argue, like, well, at this point in my progression, this would be better. Or, like I said, with certain characters, like, a lot of the light darks is just kind of undisputed that if you have them, they're just good, right? Like for example, like Virtuous is one of the strongest LDs in the game, if not the strongest. And a lot of people think that he's not that great because of the in-game tier list, which is kind of funny. But it's like that dude is kind of strong. The thing is, though, it's getting him. It's the problem. It's like he's a LD. So. I think I seen yesterday. I don't know if they were the first person, but they were the first person I've seen. Period. Get a character named Roxanne. I forgot it's Roxanne Gummy or something like that is the name of that character. It's basically a character that they just added, and it's a light dark, and she has this ginormous gummy bear that she rides. And it's like this is like the one of the more unique characters I've seen in the game. I'm gonna be honest. Like, oh wait, I'm in Titans. It is super unique. I think she's Nocturna. Yeah, Roxy and Gum, right? Like this is so unique because it's literally a evil gummy bear. Like, I'm like, you know, what made you think of this, right? Like, who thought this was gonna be like, and it works, right? And like, it's cool. It's actually really cool. But her kit is actually kind of cool too, right? Like, she has a really disgusting kit, and I just seen somebody get her, and I was like, wow. Like, you know, you said you just literally explained why we need you back on Ethereum restart. You say, well, you just literally explained why we need you back on Ethereum restart, bro. You know what's crazy? Like, okay, so number one, the devs, he said she makes my testosterone drop. Bro, the devs at Ethereum don't listen, man. I mean, I can't even feel bad. And then like the other thing is too, dude, like they like I'm okay if you like I'm okay if you have other plans and you do other things that you want to do, but I really honestly think that you have to look at certain things from a development team. I don't like when development teams make promises and then break them. It's okay if you like, you know, you put out a roadmap and you're like, hey guys, things are subject to change. But if you go to the player base and you say, we're never going to do this, and then you do it, that's when I usually start to have problems. You know, like that, that's where it, like for me, I'm just like, all right, man, like, you know, so even like they told people we're not going to do double LD banners back to back. We'll never do that. And we promise we won't do it. And then they literally do it. And it's like, well, okay. Like, it's like for me, I think trust is such a big thing when you're playing these games too. So are there 5 rares? Wait, are the 5 rares any different from each other? They are different. The 3 that I really is 2, but I'd say the 3 that you really can pick from comfortably is Danos, Sarissa, and Salanth. But I would say personally for me, I always prefer to go Danos. Like for the series, I usually switch it up just so it's mentally for my brain it's something different. But he's amazing. Like he definitely fits into what you kind of want as like a progression push unit. You know, you have your AoE, you got the charge. You have 2 AoEs technically with him because his charge is a pretty big radius. And once you get to the point of being able to build vampire set on him, he's actually pretty good at self-sustaining himself as well. So that's the reason why I like him. The current one that I picked, I like her a lot too. Sarissa is pretty solid as well. She has a lot of utility herself. But the other thing is too, range characters are pretty good just historically within this game. Just because like if you think about it from a logical standpoint, if I can kill something before it even touches me, yeah, like right, there's that. So like one of my first solo units I was actually using in the game was a character named Serene. She was just blowing up stuff before it even get close to her. Like that was like, and her modifier, I know there's some characters that are pretty high up there, but she got a crazy one. I was like, all right. And she's actually a fusion character too. I think she's Magi. Yeah. So at max, her, let me see, which one is it? Where's that with, hold on, am I looking at the right thing? Let me see, is that with the, oh, that's with the gear, so it's not showing it without the gear. Yeah, so like, okay, so for example, mine right now is maxed, and it says her ult right now deals 19,000, it deals 19,000 damage. And that's not considering if she crits. So yeah. That's kind of its own thing. But you said, what do you think about flat stats early on? Percentages are still better. It's just it's just what percentages are you focusing. So like I was saying earlier, like the crit, like trying to build crit and crit damage makes zero sense early game. You're just better off building into attack. Mana gen is great. That's the other thing too. Like, okay, like if we look at like your gear, for example, when you're looking at your slots, like for example, your chest piece, if you have a character that needs to land debuffs, accuracy is where the chest goes, right? So that's something to take into consideration when you're trying to build characters for accuracy. You have accuracy bonus for the sets, and then accuracy can be on the chest piece. But like gloves, I mean, let's start off with the pauldrons. The pauldrons you can roll only HP, defense, attack. It's your standard, stat values. That's going to just vary on if it's a tank versus if it's a damage dealer, right? But then gloves get a little janky, boots get a little janky, and then so does your belt, because you can have, and then your chest as well. But you can roll combo speed, you can do skill recovery, you can do skill speed, you can do attack, defense, HP percent. You can do mana gen. You can even do a stat called instinct, which, to be fair, generally speaking, most of the stats, and when people recommend most values you typically would go after, it's going to be something that correlates to what the unit scales off of. So, your typical attack, defense, whatever it is, if they need bulk, all that, right? But it's typically going to be mana gen, skill recovery. That is a lot of what a lot of characters really typically are built on. And then depending on the character, you may be factoring in like combo speed and stuff like that. But yeah, there's very few characters that are like built on other things. And like I said, it's like then at that point you're kind of looking at more of an isolated, like, okay, this unit's built like that. But most characters generally, those are the values you're looking at. Some of the other values, it's not that those values aren't like, they're viable in the sense of like later down the line they'll probably be more useful in certain ways. Like we don't have 6-star gear, for example. We're capped at 5-star, so they may be better with higher scaling, but some of the numbers for certain stats don't scale that well to basically justify starting to invest or build them. And so like mana gen is great because there's certain hits that you do that will generate mana, and that allows you to be able to get closer to closing those gaps and things of that nature. Skill recovery as well, in conjunction, closing those gaps to, like, say for example, like if you get a character like Nerval, like you want to try to upkeep, her unkillable and like her crit rate buff. Or if you're using Sebastian, like you want to try to keep him at 100% uptime on his crit damage and crit rate buff. He has one of the craziest. Actually, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Waffles, I think Sebastian has the best crit damage, crit rate buff in the game. So yeah, like it's like stuff like that you start kind of looking at. And like there's some characters that you can get that can completely change how you can build your characters. Sebastian is one of them. Nerval is a character that people use to do things like that as well. Yeah, dude, it's so much that, like, and that's what makes these types of games fun for me, is because like one moment you could be like, hey, I'm just rocking with what I got, and then you get something crazy, and then now your account is just completely different. And the thing is too, I didn't really talk about this too much in a video, but you have your new player rewards. Oh god, I closed my game by mistake. Hold on. I like literally hit the X button. I looked at it and was like, yep, I don't want to play this no more. It's funny. But you have your login, and so this is why I said I think by design they reward you for playing long term, because the units you get from playing long term are crazy. So like I know, like, granted, like I get it, like people are like, bro, like I want that. Like I'm like, dog, like some of the stuff I'm getting close to, like I like got lucky to pull one of the characters early, but once I get him or get to the login bonus for him, I'm going to be able to run 2 of him, which is going to be absolutely insane. Like, and the character I'm talking about, Waffles is style. So, like they changed that bonus for you to get him for free, and I pulled him early, and then now I'm going to get a second one. I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to be blowing up people. like like that's the other thing that's really like I like that concept is that you can run this you can do multiple builds of the same character. You can, you know, do the same build of the same character and still run them in the same team. Um so it is the I think it's daily rewards. Okay, yeah, here we go. So let me pull this back up because it's like, why'd you close me out like that? Yeah, look at that. You see the dedication. Even my emulator is by design set up for invokers, and I did this a while back too. That's not even like recent. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Um, You said recently got him. He has 40 cc, 75 crit damage on his own for 17 seconds. Yeah, that's crazy. He's nuts. I got him so early on my account, and I was like, yo, like I didn't realize he was as good as he was until I like looked at his kit, and I was like, wait a minute, like this dude just kind of like just gives you crit and crit damage. Like you just you could kind of just almost neglect it like low key, and he just gives it to you. He said, now this game similar to Rain where we don't have to spend any resources until fusion events or legendary chase events occur. Basically, we just AFK and don't play until events appear. So that's the thing that's kind of like, I can't answer it 100%. It's similar. I don't know what route they're going to go as far as like what happens in between like chases. Like chases, this is our first time getting it. So I can't say in full confidence like this is our structure and it's always been that way. It's like, well, no, this is our first event we got, and I don't know what comes after a chase, you know, so I have no idea. Now as far as like other content, they have mentioned that there's going to be like a roguelike mode coming into the game. So I think it's going to be aspects of the game where, yeah, it is going to be that saving aspect to it, but then there's going to be other things for you to be doing as well. That's kind of the unknown part. Like I don't know what they're going to do with guilds. We very well, I would think, because it makes sense, we're going to get some sort of clan boss, right? That's going to more than likely be a thing that we have to deal with per day. And that might even change the beginner progression and how you might go about looking at your account. It all depends on what rewards you get from that and how much better they are than like Spire. So if the rewards from like clan content end up being significantly better than Spire, that might actually be the shift in where you change your focus and what you might want in the beginning and what you might build in the beginning. But as long as it's Spire, it does kind of give us a little bit more open accessibility, because you're not really like, you're not locked into like, oh, I got to have this one team. It's like, well, no, I'm trying to build multiple elemental teams. And I just need to get those squared away so that I can actually progress. But yeah, that's the thing right now, is that for me, it's still a lot of unknown. So as far as what we've gotten so far, it's very similar like to what I've experienced on like Watchers and Raid, but we also don't have all the content yet either. So I don't know if there's going to be stuff that we get to do where it doesn't really involve an event cycle. Because they did mention that like with the roguelike, that was something they wanted us to be able to kind of like play more extensively. So that's what I mean. It's like a lot of it is just kind of like what they've told us versus what we actually can see. And so, yeah, that's kind of that. But you said, Zox, you said your favorite basketballer going to Philly, the hairline spray business going to be booming. Oh, you're talking about LeBron? LeBron is not my he's not my favorite basketball player, bro. But yeah, so like the login bonuses, like for example, like I'm somewhere around, I think I'm somewhere around almost here-ish somewhere. No, I'm actually past that. I lied. But yeah, like 270 is kind of long. That's a long time. Now, that's the thing though. It's like, is this guy gonna be that relevant then? Maybe. He could be. But they've been changing this too. Like they've changed it since I've been playing even. I swear I've seen it changed a few times. So you said what range or rare range champ would you build for starters? The one that I'm using right now is really good. Another one named Lumi is like super good. She's a beast blood. And she is a wind attribute range character. She is very strong. Now the luxury. Now, okay, so this is the other thing too. One of the things that the game does, and this is why I said it's like kind of part. Yeah, you summon certain things, but it's also gonna like naturally you're gonna have some characters just drop. Like if you go to the campaign stages, Lumi is a character you can actually get from campaign. She's not on this one. Right here, right? So chapter 3, ain't even far. Lumi actually drops on chapter 3 at a chance. And you got 3 difficulties of this that you're gonna end up doing at some point anyway. She's gonna drop. Like, so you can actually get her for free without summoning. So that is, you know, when you're like even looking at like, you know, building out some of your teams, each of these rares that you have access to, they're characters that you're gonna more than likely end up throwing into your elemental teams for Spire, right? Like if you're doing your summons and you don't get anything, if you're going along the way and you're getting copies of these guys, like for example, even this, right? Like some people are like, oh, I already got that guy. Yeah, that's okay. You can run 2 of him. Like it's okay. You can. If you start him up and you have more than one and you don't care for the other one, you can use it as food. Like that's the nature of how the game is set up. It lets you use more than one of a character. Like what like Waffle was saying is some people might have thought it was a joke, but like people are legit using 5 of one character on like Spire, because that's what they had. So they don't really limit you in that way. It's like no, there's a way for you to progress. It's just a little bit more so like kind of like a means to an end. Like this is what I got to do for my account progression versus somebody else may get luckier on Aspire and they don't have to do all that. So, all right, let's see here. I gotta do these 2 stars, but I also need to my first day might be a little scuffed, but it's okay. So, well, that's super well. That's actually, he said it's super, that's super well. He said it's actually very cool. I'm sleep. Yeah, so like, I think like, what was it that I built 2 of so far? I built 2 Nervals. That's like the only character I built 2 of on my main account. But when I was doing my free-to-play account, I was running double Danos. Just because, and then I ended up even on my main account, like I still don't have a epic or legendary damage dealer that I really like use. I could of course have done the fusion for Kalis, but I just didn't feel like doing it. So I'm over there on like floor 90 with freaking Danos right now. He said I had triple cohort. What? But you know what though? That's not really a well thing because like even in games like Summoners War, I don't know if you remember, Water in Yugami was literally free to play, and that was like meta. It was literally a base 3-star that was like the meta speed clear team for the game for years. You know, so like that format is not like, now if you're talking about like a raid when you're running like double and triple newts, it's like, yeah, that's well. you first off, you pulled that many newts, like, yeah, nah, that's crazy. But yeah, I would say like with certain units, it's like it just kind of helps you get through the game. But you said it is when you're talking about light darks. If you need dupes, if I need dupes of LDs, when did I say you need dupes? You don't need dupes, other than like if like you want to later down the line scaling up, but there is no system where you get more value for having a dupe of a character per se. Like you being able to run a team of more than one character is kind of accessible because some games cap you where you can only run that one character one time, and if you pull copies then it goes into a dupe system or a shard system or something. But instead I'm talking in game in years from now when the game scales in PvP, that's if they go that route. I think that's what I said. I don't know. So I like dupes, bro. Just saying it can be. Oh yeah, it can be. It depends if they decide to do like because you know how like Raid has the what is that thing called where you like put extra characters in it and it gives you stats, but they have to be a certain rarity and then also a certain faction. That is like, that's almost basically like, it's like kind of like a I don't want to say it. Is it? I guess you could say glorified dupe system. like they just didn't directly put it on the characters, but it's like a whole system that's there. You said not sure what it's called, but it's basically resonance system. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that exists, and it's like if you have that invested versus someone that doesn't, there's a ton of stat that you're getting from that. And because there's like not just rare slots, but then there's epic and legendary slots, that then implies that that person has pulled enough of the same thing to where they have enough dupes to just fill it out, which for the free to play, yeah, that's going to take them forever if they even really do it. There was only like a couple of like super patient free to plays I seen on Raid, like Boozer was one of them. He was like, his account was crazy. Like before he really started getting like, you know, boosted stuff from Polarium and like all that, like his accounts free to play were crazy. I was like, yo, like his dedication though was like, again, it's like he was just playing a different game. Man had alarm clocks and all that stuff and did that faithfully for years. Like you said, Gretchen, nowadays in Raid, you don't really need dupes outside of Nuit. So the power creep Raid is out of this world. Yeah, it's what is it? The spending, keep on spending mentality, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. It's like I hope at least with this game what they continue to do is to streamline beginner progress. It really honestly should only get better, closing that gap between newer players and older players as the game ages. I really think it's going to help with like long-term retention and bring it just at that point, like bringing in new players, you know, because that to me, that's one thing that's always been like slightly off-putting with Raid is that I feel like Raid, the beginning process grind is the same. Like it's nothing about it that's like streamlined other than here's this new legendary, and if you use the coupon link or code, now you get these legendaries that can help you start it, but you still go through that same clan boss grind. And so it's kind of like you're still behind severely. Like it's not like you really kind of get caught up and it's like, all right, cool, we're pushing pretty hard. It's like, yeah, no, unless you get really lucky. Like I had I remember one time I was doing a sponsored stream with Deadwood Jedi and Echo for Raid, and I started a fresh account, and at that time they were giving out the mythical crystals. It was like one. They would like give you like one mythical crystal at that time on fresh accounts. And so me, Deadwood Jedi, and Echo were talking. I think Echo was in the chat, and Deadwood Jedi was actually on the stream live with me, helping me, do the live stream. And he was like, "Oh, before we end the stream," he was like, "Use that mythical summon." And I was like, "That's probably gonna be trash." I pulled it, I hit it, turned red. That was my first time seeing the animation, and out popped Sigfrun. Now, at that time, Sigfrun had just got buffed. And so over the lifespan of Raid, I don't know if he still is, but Sigfrun was like one of the cream of the crop mythics after they had buffed him. Like the dude literally could solo like campaign push with him with no crazy investment. I didn't have the soul for him. I was able to campaign push in like half a week, and I was going into the hardest difficulty, like everything like done, like and I was like able to finish the hardest difficulty with him in like 2 weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks with my starter links and stuff like that. And Deadwood Jedi was just like, bro, he was like, you gotta see how far you can push this account, because he was like, this unit is crazy. And that dude had like full team res, He had a DPS form that was just like AoE nuke. I think he did something with ignoring defense. Like he just had so much in his kit. And I was like, dude, who made this unit? So like, it's like, depending on what you start out with, your experience can be so night and day. Like that's the other thing too. Now, granted, the likelihood of you starting out with you know, a mythic and raid on a new account is so unlikely. Like it would have to be one of those like 1 in a million occurrences like that. But yeah, that was probably the most fun progression, like new player start I had. Okay, we gotta go do Horde. Other than that, yeah, all of my pushes that were like the, you know, the standard build Kel, use Kel on clan boss, you know, that was the beginner push. All right, cool. Do. Excuse me. I don't even remember selecting this team, but hey, here we are. Okay, sweet. Oh, and Missile, I'm gonna probably end the stream in a minute. If you're still free, we can meet up in the Discord. Yeah, we can meet up in the Discord. Because I don't know if Zoo's gonna pop in or not. He said I got Forik, the animator again. You're gonna have to commit to an account, man. Yeah, I mean, out of the accounts, you're just gonna have to pick the one that you like the most. But as I always say though, I never really like to give up on accounts because like you know, like bro, I'm telling you, like I feel like my luck was so garbage when I started my account and then it had like a 180 and I was like, oh okay, because like my last like 3 legendaries I got, it was Tasia, it was Sebastian, Thao, then Tasia, and then I did the fusion for Tetsu. And I was like, bro, there's like pulling like that is crazy. I was like, yeah, that's nuts. So I got 3 top tier legendaries back to back, basically. He says this is a beta test. It's technically it's open beta. It's like an early access though. It's non-wipe, Trenny. So anything you do now, it's progression you keep. Yeah, it's a progression you keep. So let's do this. Let's do this. Boop, boop. Grab that book here, and then we need to do equip a Evoker. Oh, my sister is calling me. I'm gonna have to call her back. Equip 4 Invokers with 3 relics of each of level 10 or higher. Okay. He said, can I still access this still, or I missed the date? No, you have, wait, Trini, what country are you in right now, bro? Because they just opened the game up. It might be in your Play Store or your Apple Store. They opened the game up to a ton of new regions. So you should be able to just download it depending on where you're at. I would just check the store real quick and see if it's in there. Because if it is, then you could just download it and start. All right, so there's that. I got to change your gear. What am I doing? I'm like wasting. Let's see what you auto equip. Boom, HP. That's like absolute dog, but hey, it's gonna have to work for now. Okay, we can use a little accuracy. And just not really level that much, but we'll level this one. It's crazy that like even as a new player, you get so many points for just leveling your gear. It's funny. Let's see here. HP. We're running around with that for now. I don't think I have a attack gauntlet. Yeah, combo speed. We don't care about any of that. Yeah, we'll just rock that for now. So that's 1, 2. Yeah, that's that. Swap for free. Get those bonuses. And that's the other thing. How'd you not give her the pauldrons? Okay. That's the other thing too. Like in this earlier phase, all you really care about is like the set bonus. You get the set bonus, you kind of cook. Um, you know, you'll eventually be able to get the stats you want. Really should be probably just +5ing some of these, +10 for the missions. And then I think we need to do one more. Nope. We'll just leave it as is. Defense monogen. Let's do this. He said, "Oh, it's in my app store. Thinks I checked the website, but it said pre-register, so I assumed it wasn't out." Yeah, no, you're good, bro. They just announced it. I think like 2 days ago or a day ago. For that people could have access to it, and they just basically need to check their store. All right, there we go. I think that finishes that mission. Weekly. All right, and then we got to go to beat Horde King on stage 2. Yeah, Tiz is fun. The early days of your account. All right, take it easy, Waffles. You take it easy, bro. I appreciate you for stopping by, man. Have a great night. I'll show you guys that are new on my main account before we end the stream, because I'm gonna have to grind this like severely off cam. He said, have they come out with a timeline for PC client? This emulator life is taxing. I know they were saying something about PC soon. I don't know what soon really means, but yeah, I would suspect it's going to be sooner than we probably think it is, just because they have acknowledged the issues that people were having with like Google Play Beta and like emulation quality. So I would say I think it's probably going to happen in the next in the next couple of months at most, but I could be wrong. So let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty GG. How's he not dead yet? Okay, I'm about to say, like, what's happening here? Yeah, because emulation, yeah, like I said, it doesn't do this game any justice. Like, this game is so crispy, and then you have emu. Yeah, emulation is, yeah. It just doesn't, it's not it. It's not it. Let me see. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, okay, that is different, though. Like, that's one thing that I think is going to be very different, is that they just throw you right immediately into tourneys. Because I hope they don't do what Moonton did with Watcher of Realms, though. All early access accounts can't use the PC client. Only post global. No, they definitely going to let us use PC client. They also, like, there's certain things they were like people were asking earlier, and they kind of answered, like, as far as like separation of people and stuff like that. Like, yeah, they're gonna try to make sure everything is across the board accessible. So yeah, that was something. It really wasn't an argument, but we were kind of debating it about it in the Discord at one point. All right, so half 3 level 25 invokers, and then that's that. He says, your newest YouTube vid on the game, all I need to know since starting. The very first one I would suggest to watch is the 5 tips, because the 5 tips kind of give you an idea of like some of the major pitfall things that you just don't want to do. Like I talk about, like, skilling up, stuff like that. And then the first video is the start of this account. I specifically talk about the starters more or less in that video. And then just kind of going through, pushing my account. What is the things I'm actually focused on at that current moment, which is just progress quest, and starting to throw my stuff into Spire teams and getting that ready to go. I'm just trying to create the visual so people can see, like, because I think in some people's head, there's like, am I really putting this uncommon and playing this content with this right now, or am I using this common? And it's like, yeah, you absolutely are. So I'm just trying to kind of lay out the process visually, so it just kind of, you know, makes more sense. And as the series progresses, I'm gonna try to stream a good bit of it so people can see the overall progression and stuff like that. As it progresses, though, it will be some shifts and things that we're doing and how we're doing it and stuff like that. Because I know, like, right now, like, we're gonna have to it's like you're gonna have to start kind of like, it's like you're building all these other teams, but you're also still building your main team at the same time. That's the team that you're really looking at to start up for campaign clearing. And then you start kind of looking at like the attributes and what you have, and who can do X thing for the respective star challenges and stuff like that, because of the faction requirement. Like, it will say like solo with this, you know, solo stage, and then it'll say only fire team can clear this, and it's like, okay, is my fire team good enough to do this? So you have to start actually developing your fire team so that they can go and clear those stages, so you can get the mileage for the star challenge and get those rewards too. Let me see. Yeah, our true. Yeah, we got that 25. So we're on page 4, I think. You said you want to play along with me? Yeah, like I said, it'll probably be like every other day where I'll do a video, just because I'm not trying to like make it like this like super like penny pinch type of ordeal with every video. It also gives me a little bit of time to kind of grind up and actually have something to like show and talk about. Okay, so we got to do chapter 3 normal. But yeah, it's going to be pretty close though. It's not going to be like, you know, 4 weeks later you're like, oh wait, he's at in game now. How'd that happen? Yeah, we got to burn these keys. Yeah, so we're just gonna have to, before the reset happens, we're just gonna put those all on auto. We'll push as far as we can, and then we'll just kind of go from there. All right, so challenge. This is okay, cool. Yeah, this is like, yeah, this is the this part is the most tedious part of starting. It's starting. Like once you get this part going, then it's pretty easy to make decisions on your account. Like this in my opinion is the most tedious part. It's like, oh, I gotta build I need a light unit, I need a red unit, I need a blue unit. This is the most tedious part. Because then afterwards, I be free flowing afterwards, because it's just like, now, okay, I know I'm gonna invest in this unit. I'm still thinking about, you know, what I might get for my water team, wherever it may be. But you kind of have more solidified things, you know, you wanna build. You say you're at chapter 3-6 right now. That's good, and that's on the one you just started too. Hopefully you got a good local group, because I know I'm definitely going to be trying to push the local reward. I actually think it's doable if you get a good route, though. That's the thing. Are there no where's the, is there like no chest over here? Like I'm confused. And it could just simply be one of those things where I'm just straight up overlooking it, but there's no way there's no chest over here. Like Jose not. Oh, I did open one. Okay, I was about to say. I'm like, Jose nada? And let's see. Oh, you know what though? Next up, I gotta actually connect my controller, because you can. This game does have well, depending on the emulator, you can play this game with controller. Who do you have so far that you're using? Yeah, so did I just troll myself? Yeah, I may have missed it, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I missed it. But I mean, it may have gotten 2-star. I don't know. I wasn't counting my chest. Yeah, I missed one. That's fine. We'll come back for it later. We shall come back for it later. Dude, I really hope we get like a horde mode or something. Like that would be so fun. Cause this game does have pretty. I think the place you get to really see like how crazy the monster density can get is when you fight Althar and when you get into the higher floors of Spire. Like Spire is just so toxic. I like I was like, yo, I don't know who engineered this, but they really don't like people, and it's like actually hard. It's fun though. That's good though, because you at least have like your one of your main healers situated right already, so that's good. Danos is great. Yeah, like see, like somebody like Danos would go crazy in a horde mode because of that all that spin the wind crap he does. Wait, is there there's one chest here. I really need to pay attention to that chest button. I'm like not even looking at it. I feel like there was another chest somewhere and I might have missed it. Cause surely, yeah, I might have missed it. Victory. Yeah, they said, yeah, just get him out of here. Yeah, I missed it. Oh yeah, so see, point in case. We already got Lumi. So okay, that was worth me not getting the 2 stars. We got Lumi. So now she goes on my win team. And then I might actually alternate her in for my progression because she's actually a really, really good archer. Yeah, she's a really, really good archer. Yeah, and that's on that 1.7, but 1.5 times, but per enemy you kill, right? Like that to me is like, it don't sound like it's a good chance, but like you may have just like on a given stage you may have just killed like 100 enemies, like. So that's like, that's low key kind of not too bad of a chance per run. Let's see. Boop. So we got that one chest over there. Chest here. One more chest over here. And usually what I try to do, I usually try to find all the chests and then I let auto take over. And then auto is usually pretty, like the AI is pretty good for most general content until you start getting into some of the more gimmicky like boss fights and stuff like that. Because even Instinct is like such it's like it's a bad but good stat at the same time. Because it makes your AI basically smarter. All right, so we'll stop right there. I'm gonna finish grinding this off cam, and then we'll recap on that. Boom. All right, so we're on page 5. Not bad considering I was yapping a little bit. And then the cool thing is too is that like if you ever get to the point where you're like, I want to run more than one account. My other account is right here. And you can pretty seamlessly swap between the two too. So yeah, with this account though, oh man, it's just so nice. Like I haven't bought any stamina in this game, like other than like with my free to play currency and you know, like refills and stuff like that, but I like just not too long ago got to a point where I have like no stamina, but I'm at, I think right now, yeah, 120 crowns. I finished Sakael Hunt, Arena Rush. I gotta finish for the 10 crowns here, and then I'm skipping Titan And yeah. But like to kind of give perspective too, even as long as I've played, I only have, well, it's not only, but I got Thal, Aspral, Sebastian, just got these two. Revisia, I think came early. Gladstone was one of my first legends. And then Colodon is not bad, but he's very he's good in like Spire, but not like bossing. He's not the best for bossing. But if you look at my Titans, and this is what I mean by like how much rare, I have one legendary Titan, right? And that took me a little bit of time to get. So do expect that like when you're looking at Titan investment, Titans are gonna be epics, rares, and there's some really good ones that you can invest in. Like I know Amprix is pretty good with certain invokers. People absolutely use Litria. This is the first one that you get. I use a lot of Ferrogar, but I wouldn't say he's like meta or anything like that. I think Radleth is actually best in slot for some characters right now. Wolrath is really, really good. A lot of people still use Volexos. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of like good rares that you can use on your account as you're even getting Titans and stuff like that. And then I'm saving up as of the moment. So this has all been from my monthly grind, and I think I did a video with this, but I had about 2.7k wild stars, and I zeroed it, and so now I'm back at 600. So that's just from like daily stamina that I got from stuff. And then the Miracle Orb, Wonder Orbs all came from like farming campaign, from shards, and then Dream Orbs drop as a whole. Once you're in, I'll show you. Yeah, once you're in insane difficulty, so I do my daily sometimes using normal, but once you're in insane difficulty, I think in normal, actually, I'll show you. It doesn't drop. Or actually, no, it does drop them. It just drops them at a little bit less of a percentage chance. And then monster density is definitely higher as you go up into insane. So you have more of a chance for them to drop. So yeah, basically farmed that from that. Mileage bar I haven't really touched as much recently, but I got to get back on that because I'm on technically page 27. Yeah, page 27 of that. So it's a little bit of a grind, but I got to like focus on that. This event like threw me off. Technically, if I do this, I'll be on page 28, and I'll probably have a crap ton of this already done. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's what we currently got going on. Let's see here. Boom. Let me swap it back so I can continue grinding. All right, there we go. And then the cool thing is too, is if you have more than one account like that, you can be on the same like email, but you can play both accounts on 2 different devices at the same time. So it is actually kind of neat how they set that up. But all right, guys, we're gonna actually stop here. I'm gonna like lock like really hard in, and try to push this how I normally push this, because I probably should be almost on like page 10. Like I'm being real. So yeah, I'm gonna do some grinding off cam. Yeah, and then I'll update you guys, and we'll probably stream tomorrow too. So I'll show you guys the progression tomorrow. We'll be on, I think, day 2 come tomorrow. So we'll grind and stream a little bit earlier. But I appreciate you guys for coming through. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel too, so that you don't miss any of the content. Because like I said, I'm gonna try to have different topics for each thing that kind of matters. And then as I'm making those shifts, you'll also be able to have a point of reference to see those shifts too. So yeah, that's basically what we got going on. Again, if you guys have any questions, join my Discord, or you can always ask on the video. And I'll probably have a poll too, because there's going to be some stuff I might ask about summoning. I could hold off on summoning if some people prefer to see that versus like just using it every time I get a summon. Because like I said, you can use stuff as you're grinding, or you can be using your summons at the same time to kind of flesh out your account. I'll probably have to use the wild stars, but I definitely can think about saving Fate and Destinies until we can do a bigger session. So yeah, but yeah, that'll be that. You said rejoining character, we can. I don't mind. Yeah, we absolutely can. So I would prefer hold off, but it's up to you. Yeah, I don't mind really, because like, to be fair, I can kind of make anything work. Really, I've done it where I did a progression push with just uncommons and rares, so I can make it work. You know, the epics are nice, but rares can get that beginner floor 50, that objective of the first 30 days. They can do it fine. So yeah, that's probably what we'll do. I'll put up a poll though, see what everybody else wants to do too. So yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, everybody stay blessed. I'll catch you guys later. All right, guys. Peace.